So just a little precursor, our company's called Podcast Crew. We've got a turnkey podcasting studio in Robbinsdale. So if you know anybody looking, now you know some people in the business. So we are taking our show on the road, and so we do this podcast called Spotlight. And it's really about taking 10 to 15 minutes and shining the spotlight on you and seeing what you're up to in the world. So why don't you start there? Tell us who you are and tell us what you do and what you're up to.
Sure. My name is Ruiz Jr. I am the owner of Social Eye Marketing here in St. Paul. I actually work out of this building here. I've been in business for 11 years last Tuesday. So
Congrats.
Thank you. Prior to that, I was I was in the real estate industry, and in the midst of all that, I co-founded the Manhattan Film Festival out in New York City. So I started off as kind of an actor, filmmaker person back in the day. I'm late 40s now, so I'm kind of starting to be a dinosaur in the field here. So, but no, I kind of...
Well, I'm older than you, so be careful here. Let's not talk too much about dinosaurs.
Kind of interesting how social media and my film background kind of intersected when I went back for my marketing degree 12 years ago, which was kind of the advent of kind of, social media business kind of intersecting. And,
sure.
Now with the kind of really jump off of video in social media and content and all that, it really kind of came full circle and, gave me kind of an advantage too, I guess, with, being able to pump out some content pretty quickly for clients and whatnot. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So give me a case study. Give me a success story or a couple of them.
Yeah. Well, I've got a client who it's kind of a weird niche of a industry. It's a water delivery service for but it's bulk water. So it works with like swimming pools and hot tubs and things like that. One of the things that we focused on was building their TikTok following and building a presence around that. And that really kind of took off to be really a beast of its own, because it was a weird niche to really follow around, because what we did was kind of take a first person point of view of the delivery process, essentially. But
so like hands turning spigots and
it just came about to be this like ASMR type thing, and but it built. They're over like 9 million followers now, and
9 million.
It's
wow.
It became this insane thing, but they're local here in Minnesota, and they don't, they're not even global by any means. But
wow, did they give you a free hot tub? Not yet. It's on the way. Being delivered.
Yeah. But so they it's one of those things too. About it's kind of a good study in social media to take a look at virality and what that can mean for your business, and do you want it to, do you want your presence to be as viral as it can be, or do you, where do you want to be in the spectrum of social media?
So what's your advice around that? Like, what would do I want to be? Or why would somebody want to or be or not want to be viral?
Obviously, it's not a terrible thing to be viral, but at the same time, you need to understand as a brand and a business what that is going to mean. It's going to mean that you are going to be getting phone calls and messages from people who are not your target market, or they're not your clientele, because you don't service that area. And what do you do with that? So
does it also mean I'm going to get stopped in like the local restaurant and somebody wants my autograph possibly?
It can mean that as well. So you got to be ready for all those things. But it's good to note that, because you have to get the client to understand that, look, it's not always about getting your content to be seen all across the world, because everybody gets so infatuated with these vanity metrics with how many views does it have, and who's seeing it, and but at the end of the day, if your target market's not seeing things, then is the content really serving its purpose?
Sure.
So when you're creating your content, you got to keep that in mind. Like, who is my target market? Who do I want to see this? And what do I want them to see? And what do I want them to do after they see it? So keeping all those things in mind when creating the content, and also when explaining to a client when you're first meeting them, what are the expectations and what should you be, expecting when you see a piece of content come out of our client portal to them. So great information to share with clients, but it's also a great case study to show that, like, you can explode if you want to, but you have to also keep in mind what that it's going to bring with it.
So you've been in this business now for 11 years and started, kind of, I guess, 11 years ago, even Facebook was around for a while, but maybe it's still kind of on its upward trajectory. I don't know if it is anymore. But what have you seen? Like, tell me, like, the changes that you've seen, and maybe give me a little bit of like future predictions where you see stuff going.
Yeah. So that's a great question because it's ever changing. It's like something new pretty much daily in the social media world. When I first started, it was just Facebook. When Facebook was that was the beast, man. Everybody wanted to be on Facebook. That was the demographics age, and new platforms come into play. Obviously, keeping in mind with the platform, again, going back to reach and virality and things like that, Facebook and Instagram, Meta, are still two of the best platforms when it comes to geographical targeting for your campaigns. Obviously, Google, they're still Google. So when you mix in YouTube ads and things like that into your marketing mix, it all is great to have, obviously. But when it comes to the social media world, with even the new guys like TikTok and even Snapchat, Meta is still kind of the king when it comes to the paid side of things. So when you really want to hyper target, TikTok is kind of just within the last year, they've kind of mirrored Meta's targeting platform when it comes to ads. Still not quite there, but you can still target a little. But then you have to keep in mind that you're going to spend money to do that, because if you're on TikTok, it's not as localized because their goal is to get eyeballs. They want to be the biggest platform globally, and they want their target market isn't the local market. So to reach that market on TikTok, you do want to go with the paid side of things. But Snapchat is still a viable option when you go with the paid side of things as well. And then YouTube ads are still doing pretty well. They're performing pretty well. But again, I still love the Meta platform when it comes to the paid side of things. Organic reach is not dead. I know a lot of people like to believe it is, but if you're pumping out the right content and playing the game the correct way, then you could still get a lot of eyeballs on there.
So it sounds like when you're engaging or talking to a new client, you're starting at kind of the strategy stage and really like an architect. You want to look at all the facets of the building and figure out how the most efficient way is to build it. Then you create content for them.
Yep.
And then are you also helping them then on the ad side and kind of managing those campaigns? And awesome.
Yeah. So it starts off, you kind of seeing where they're at in their social media journey. Most people have started in some capacity with their business on social media. They've done some things, played around with it, had their nephew or niece, creating content for them, and it's, not exactly selling the business. So it's a lot of it is educating the client too, and finding out where they're at in their journey, and then educating them on where they can go with that journey, what they can expect, and then just from there building out that plan. Yeah.
Do you have a niche? Over 11 years, have you kind of focused more, or have you like started with a focus and kind of broadened out a little bit in terms of who you serve?
Yeah, it started off more focused, but now we kind of serve a wider range of clients, but we still do a lot of HVAC companies on the paid side of things, because it's such a service-based industry where they can get, hyper targeting on their ads and whatnot. And, they're local, so we can help them reach that local audience and kind of mirror that retargeting side of things with their, their competitors and whatnot, and really target in on their competitors' market as well. So, yeah.
Cool. So are you primarily working with local clients that are trying to hit locally? Is that kind of like your area that you focus in mostly?
Local in the sense of their area. Yeah, not just locally here in Minnesota, but we've got clients in California, New York.
Okay.
But we help with, their local.
So your client base is national, but you help them focus mostly locally in terms of content creation.
Exactly.
Awesome. Cool. So how do you, just out of curiosity, how do you work with a customer out of California? Are you creating content here? You flying out there? You doing a mix of both?
It depends on the client. Some of it is us flying out there and kind of grabbing batched content, grabbing like 30 days of content within like a 3-day time period.
Right.
But we've kind of built a lot of relationships where we have people out there shooting the content, editing it, sending it to us, and for us to use to manage.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you say we, so tell me about team size.
Yeah, we've got a small team. We've got 5 people, kind of family-oriented team. So
that's all right.
Yeah.
That's my wife right there. So
it's the best
that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Don't want, in the beginning, I wanted to grow it into, a large agency, but with that comes a lot of headaches and a lot of
amen.
People. You got to be ready and have the right team ready to hit the ground running to build something like that. So
yeah. It's it's an experience that I've had. I've had a couple of companies myself, and when you grow your team, you start doing a lot more team management and HR and dealing with those issues than you do the thing that you love, which is probably why you started the business in the first place. So interesting.
Exactly.
So I like to wrap these up with a piece of inspiration. So what inspires you to kind of keep going every day, or what do you find out in the world that you want to share as an inspiration?
I guess a couple of different things. Obviously, my greatest inspiration is just my family, and it's what keeps me going. But I just love it telling the stories of people, and I guess that's the filmmaking background in me, and again, that kind of comes full circle with social media. It really keeps me on my toes, and it really keeps me hungry, so to speak, because there's always somebody's story who needs to be told, and they're not telling it right, or simply don't know how to do it, and I just really enjoy it. I love hearing those stories of like we're doing now, telling people's how and whys.
That's exactly why I started the podcast. I love hearing these stories. Filmmaking background as well. All right, so bonus question, right?
Yeah.
Top 3 movies of all time.
Like my favorites or
your favorites?
Oh gosh, I've got kind of an eclectic, weird mix of films that I love. My all-time favorite film, Go to Will Hunting.
Awesome.
That's like my personal favorite. And then there's just films. See, that's so difficult because there's films that I can just that I love and will just sit and watch just because. But then, get to the artistic side of things and all that. So, gosh, man, I'm like an 80s film lover. So I can sit and watch any of those, really. I'm a Goonies fanatic. Man, I don't know, man. There's too many, that I like.
All right.
I don't really have, other than Good Will Hunting, that's, artistically and just, I think it's because it was, when I first started filmmaking and the whole Matt Damon, Ben Affleck background kind of resonated with me and my buddy. So I that movie is like a 3-hour long movie, and I memorized it word for word. And
is that right? Wow. Awesome, man.
Yeah. So I other than that one, I don't really have any other favorites. I just have a bunch of movies that I could watch on repeat whenever.
As we say, there's maybe a handful of movies I would ever watch again.
Yeah.
But all the ones that I would watch again, I would watch 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being a part of this.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.